After years in development, Spore, the long-awaited next game from Will Wright and Maxis, releases on September 5th in Europe and September 7th in North America. But you may be wondering, what exactly is Spore? There is, after all, a whole lot to this game. Spore is a story of life on other planets, of how it comes to be and how it evolves. Eventually, you can explore a galaxy full of planetary systems, and each one can be populated with content created by Spore players from around the world. There are 5 distinct stages to Spore, covering different parts of a species' history, from the cell stage to the space age. And the decisions that you make in the very early stages of Spore can have significant implications later on in the game. In our continuing look at Spore, we come to the intermediary part of the game, Tribal Stage. Tribal Stage is when your species begins to form the beginnings of a civilization. After millions of years evolving from a tiny cell to a wild creature, it's time to settle down in villages and discover the division of labor. You're no longer evolving physically, but you are evolving as a society. If Cell Stage played like an arcade game and Creature Stage played like a third-person action game, Tribal Stage plays out like a real-time strategy game. You no longer control a single creature, and you can control multiple creatures at the same time. The camera also pulls back further, letting you see more of the land around you. The goal in Tribal Stage is to basically eliminate all rival tribes of creatures around you, either through force or through friendliness. You start out with a small village with only a handful of villagers. You can erect a few primitive buildings as well. For example, a spear hut will let you arm your villagers with spears, which is useful if you want to go hunting or you want to go to war. The primary resource in Tribal Stage is still food, but instead of using food to evolve your creature, you're using food to grow your population and build new buildings. Since you have multiple villagers, you can divide tasks. Some could go collecting for fruit, while others go hunting for meat, while others stand guard. Things get interesting when you start to encounter neighboring tribes. If you're aggressive or they're pushy, you could battle them. But if you're nice, you might want to swap out your spears for musical instruments and serenade them. As you defeat tribes or make friends with them, you can unlock new buildings and abilities, like a fishing hut, which lets your villagers access a new food source. For each tribe that you defeat, you add a new totem to your village totem pole. As you do, your society will become a little more sophisticated and you can support a larger population, which lets you do more. You're also learning to manage on a bigger scale, which will be key in the next stage of the game. You advance out of the tribal stage once you've amassed enough totems on your totem pole, indicating that your society has advanced on the verge of actual civilization. Congratulations, you've managed to claw your way out of prehistory and have advanced to the edge of modern times. In Civilization Stage, the next stage of Spore, you will battle for planetary supremacy, so stay tuned to IGN as we continue to look at the evolving gameplay of Spore.